Welcome to English Practice Every Day. In today's vocabulary practice video, we will learn and practice 12 words at the upper intermediate. Upper intermediate meaning B2 plus level. B2 plus level. After our practice, we will read a short story aloud that uses all these words, helping us understand how to use them in a proper context. Let's start. Please speak out loud with me as we practice. 1. Impose. Impose. Impose is a verb. Impose means to force something such as a rule, decision, or idea on someone. Impose means to force something such as a rule, decision, or idea on someone. The government plans to impose stricter regulations on pollution. The teacher imposed a new rule about using cell phones in class. Don't impose your opinions on others. Let them decide for themselves. The curfew was imposed to ensure everyone's safety during the storm. 2. Exceed. Exceed. Exceed is a verb. Exceed means to go beyond what is allowed, expected, or required. Exceed means to go beyond what is allowed, expected, or required. Sam's performance exceeded all our expectations. You should not exceed the speed limit while driving. The company's profits this year exceed last year's by 20%. The demand for the product exceeded the supply within weeks. 3. Allocate. Allocate. Allocate is a verb. Allocate means to distribute or assign resources, time, or tasks for a specific purpose. Allocate means to distribute or assign resources, time, or tasks for a specific purpose. The manager allocated a portion of the budget to employee training programs. Each team member was allocated a specific task to ensure the event ran smoothly. The government plans to allocate additional funds to improve healthcare facilities in rural areas. The teacher decided to allocate more time to math lessons since students were struggling with the subject. 4. Illustrate. Illustrate. Illustrate is a verb. Illustrate means to explain or make something clear by giving examples or using pictures. Illustrate means to explain or make something clear by giving examples or using pictures. Can you illustrate your point with more examples? This case study illustrates the importance of teamwork. The book is beautifully illustrated with colorful drawings. The teacher used a diagram to illustrate the process of photosynthesis. 5. Retaliate. Retaliate. Retaliate is a verb. Retaliate means to respond to an injury, attack, or wrong by taking similar action against the person responsible. Retaliate means to respond to an injury, attack, or wrong by taking similar action against the person responsible. The army decided to retaliate after repeated attacks on their base. Instead of retaliating against the bully, Tom sought help from a teacher. Ivy chose not to retaliate when criticized, believing it was better to remain calm and focused. The villagers refused to retaliate after the neighboring community spread false rumors about them. 6. Legislate. Legislate. Legislate is a verb. Legislate means to make or enact laws. Legislate means to make or enact laws. It is difficult to legislate against personal behaviors. Efforts to legislate fair wages have gained public support. The Parliament legislated stricter measures to combat tax evasion. The government is working to legislate new policies on climate change. 7. Facilitate. Facilitate. Facilitate is a verb. Facilitate means to make something easier or help it happen. Facilitate means to make something easier or help it happen. Good planning can facilitate a smooth workflow. The teacher's role is to facilitate learning in the classroom. Volunteers helped facilitate the event by organizing the crowd. The new software will facilitate faster communication among team members. 8. Generate. Generate. Generate is a verb. Generate means to produce or create something. Generate means to produce or create something. Wind turbines generate electricity for the entire region. Her speech generated a lot of interest in environmental issues. This engine generates enough power to run the whole machine. The company's new product is expected to generate significant revenue. 9. Manipulate. Manipulate. Manipulate is a verb. Manipulate means to control or influence someone or something in a skillful but sometimes unfair way. Manipulate means to control or influence someone or something in a skillful but sometimes unfair way. The artist manipulated the clay with expert precision. Leo manipulated the data to make it look more favorable. The politician was accused of manipulating public opinion. Skilled advertisers know how to manipulate emotions to sell products. 10. Accumulate. Accumulate. Accumulate is a verb. Accumulate means to collect or gather something over time. Accumulate means to collect or gather something over time. Dust can accumulate quickly in an unclean room. She managed to accumulate a small fortune through hard work. Over the years, he accumulated a wealth of knowledge about wildlife. The company accumulated large amounts of debt during the pandemic. 11. Differentiate. Differentiate. Differentiate is a verb. Differentiate means to show or recognize the difference between things. Differentiate means to show or recognize the difference between things. Can you differentiate the twins by their voices? It's important to differentiate between facts and opinions. The bright colors differentiate this product from its competitors. The company differentiates itself by offering superior customer service. 12. Compensate. Compensate. Compensate is a verb. Compensate means to give something, usually money, in return for something lost or damaged, or to make up for something. Compensate means to give something, usually money, in return for something lost or damaged, or to make up for something. Nothing can compensate for the loss of a loved one. They gave him a bonus to compensate for his hard work. She worked extra hours to compensate for the time she missed. The company will compensate the employees for working overtime. That's the end of the practice session. Let's now read out loud a short story using all these words in a proper context. Title of the story: A Vision for the Village. Jacob had always been a man of ambition, even in the small village where he lived. Nestled among rolling hills, the community was close-knit, and everyone knew everyone else. Jacob started a small business in the heart of the village, selling handcrafted goods made by local artisans. He knew he had to impose strict rules on himself and his team to maintain discipline and ensure quality. His vision was ambitious, and his daily goals often exceeded what most villagers thought possible. Jacob's first challenge was to illustrate his ideas clearly to his team of artisans and helpers. Many of them were used to traditional methods and found his modern approach unfamiliar. He used charts, simple sketches, and relatable examples to explain his plans. "We can preserve our traditions while improving our methods," he often said. His ability to communicate effectively helped facilitate a smooth workflow, and soon the team began to see the value in his ideas. As the business grew, Jacob's efforts began to generate results. Orders poured in from nearby towns, and the village became known for its beautiful, high-quality products. The increased demand allowed Jacob to hire more villagers, providing them with steady income. Over time, he accumulated not just profits but also goodwill from the community. The elders praised his dedication, and the younger generation looked up to him as a role model. However, success brought its own challenges. A rival trader from a neighboring village started to manipulate public perception, spreading rumors that Jacob's products were not truly handcrafted. The accusations hurt Jacob deeply, but he refused to retaliate. Instead, he worked harder to differentiate his brand. He invited customers to visit the workshop and see the artisans at work. Transparency became his strongest asset, and the trust he built with his customers silenced the rumors. With the business thriving, Jacob realized that the village needed better infrastructure to support its growth. He joined forces with the village council to legislate fair policies and allocate resources for development. They worked to improve roads, set up a marketplace, and ensure ethical trade practices. Jacob believed that a prosperous community needed rules that protected everyone, from artisans to traders to customers. One day, a significant issue arose. A large shipment of products was damaged during transport, leading to complaints from customers in a nearby town. Jacob knew he had to act quickly to address the problem. We must compensate our customers generously, he told his team. Refunds and replacements were offered without hesitation, along with heartfelt apologies. Jacob's swift action not only resolved the issue but also strengthened the trust his customers had in him. Despite these challenges, Jacob remained committed to his vision. He often reflected on how his journey had shaped him. Every decision, whether to impose discipline on himself, facilitate better collaboration, or compensate for mistakes, had contributed to his success. He had exceeded not just his own expectations but also those of the entire village. As Jacob walked through the village one evening, he noticed the changes his efforts had brought. The once quiet streets were now bustling with activity. Shops were thriving, artisans were busy, and children played happily in the new marketplace. Villagers greeted him warmly, grateful for the opportunities he had created. In the end, Jacob's story was not just about building a business, it was about building a community. His legacy was one of hard work, resilience, and the belief that even a small village could achieve greatness with the right vision and values. End of story. That's all for this vocabulary practice session. Try using these 12 words in your conversations this week to reinforce your learning. Bye for now.